Oh, man. Get your popcorn ready for this one because this is going to be interesting to say the least. I'll just say this. I don't think too many Florida fans are going to like what I have to say. The Florida Gators and the LSU Tigers. What's going on? That's the million-dollar question, or not really a million-dollar question, but at least the question of today's video. What's going on with Florida and LSU? I don't even know. I couldn't tell you the last time we talked about this Florida football team and program. It had to be over a year ago. I'm pretty sure the last time we even brought them up was when they beat Utah, and after that, yeah, it was a crap show. For LSU, on the other hand, we've talked about them a little bit here and there, but we haven't really focused in on them. We haven't really dialed in on them in one video like we're going to do in this one. We've just had some minor updates here and there, but outside of that, nothing too crazy. But I think everybody knows what LSU did last year. It was unreal. I don't care how the season ended. I don't care if they went 10-4. It's not that impressive. I don't care. All I care about is they beat Nick Saban and Alabama in year one with Brian Kelly. And keep in mind, I'm an Alabama fan telling you this. If I was an LSU fan, that was the only sign and that was the only thing I wanted to see last year. Just beating Alabama alone last year tells you this program with Brian Kelly, they're heading in the right direction, and they're heading there rather quickly. Quicker than what most people expected, and heck, quicker than what I expected as well. In today's video, though, the premise is rather simple. We're going to talk about what's been going on with Florida and LSU in the past couple of months and give you an up-to-date and refresher. The past couple of weeks, Florida's been in the news for multiple different reasons, but LSU, not so much. I'm excited to get into this one. Hope you guys are excited as well. All right, Matt, blah, blah, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. All right, where do y'all want to start with this? First things first, let me say this. What about the College World Series this year? It was awesome. Shout out to LSU. Congratulations on winning that championship. If you didn't watch the College World Series, I highly suggest you watch it next year because it's pretty dang good and it's a good watch. I think it's worth watching, and this is coming from a person that does not watch college baseball during the regular season or the MLB at all. It's a good watch, and I love seeing my SEC teams thrive outside of football as well because everybody knows this. The SEC is the best. We're the best football conference, not close. We've been the best baseball conference, and now, don't look, but potentially the basketball conference, and well, not the basketball conference, but the SEC as a basketball conference, they're on the come up. I can't say the SEC is the best in basketball, but they're definitely improved over the past 5 to 8 years. We're just the best. It's plain and simple. And ironically enough, I didn't even think about this. I didn't plan for it to be this way. We're going to talk about the two teams that play for the title in baseball. But instead of talking about baseball, you know what we're going to talk about? Football. First things first, let's start out with LSU because I think the Florida one's a little bit more intriguing. What's going on with LSU? Well, if you want the short answer, nothing at all. Brian Kelly's returning for year 2, so there's not really a question mark when it comes to head coaching like it was last year. And you also have your starting quarterback coming back. Everybody knows LSU's always going to have 4- and 5-star recruits, and nothing has changed there either. Trust me, guys, you know this. Your boy Matt can talk all day long, but when things can be kept short and simple, I like to do that. The only thing that has even been floating around about LSU is that news came out that they vacated their wins from 2012 to 2015, but who cares, really? Who cares? That's in the past. I honestly don't care, and I don't think too many of you care about it either. I mean, I had a couple of people tag me in it, but outside of that, nobody. And also, Jaden Daniels, check this out. He stated, quote unquote, "We have the best quarterback room in the country." For those of y'all that don't know this, yeah, Jaden Daniels, I think he's pretty good. I think he is underrated. But also their backup, Nussmeier, that dude can play. Watch out for him in 2024. I'm not going to lie, I was kind of disappointed that Jaden Daniels came back because I wanted to see what Nussmeier could do in year 2. Or not year 2 as a starting quarterback, but the second year I really got to see him play. This may be a hot take, but I got a feeling right now that Nussmeier is already better than Jaden Daniels. And I hate to say that because I love me some Jaden Daniels. You know, I hyped him up last year. I told Bama fans, hey, before the Bama game, watch out for this kid. But I got a weird feeling about Nussmeier. Reminds me a lot of Mac Jones. Keep your eyes on that kid. Keep your eyes on him. Outside of that, nothing new going on, but, and I have a big but, here's what is new. The expectations for this LSU team is way different than last year. Last year, the expectations were, okay, we got a new coach, Brian Kelly. Let's get a feel for things. Let's just compete with Alabama. Let's try to win 9 or 10 games. That was the best case scenario, and it happened. No LSU fan expected to be playing against Georgia in the SEC championship. Did Georgia give you a wedgie, stick it over your head, and give you a swirly? Yeah, but you still made it there. The point is, they overexceeded expectations, and that's a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. It's good because that year the fans are overly excited and happy, but it's a bad thing because now your expectations are increased heavily. Let me give you an example. Last year, if LSU goes 7-5, the expectations for 2023 are, okay, let's win 9 or 10 games. Well, unfortunately, you're going to get the bad with the good. You already won 10 games. So now fans are like, hey, we won 10. Let's shoot for 11 or 12 this year. And I don't care if you're Georgia. I don't care if you're Alabama. Winning 11 to 12 games, and I'm including the postseason, by the way, in the SEC, that's not an easy task. It's rather hard. The expectations for Brian Kelly in year 2 are almost too high. I'm kind of curious. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at the schedule. I know they got Florida State week 1. It's not actually that bad outside of Florida State. It's kind of easy. I don't want to say easy, but for the SEC, it's easy. After the Seminoles, you get Grambling, win. You got Mississippi State, probably win. Arkansas, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, those are fringe top 25 teams. Missouri, they're decent. Auburn, we all know they're in a rebuilding year. Then Army. After the Seminole game, you arguably only have maybe one top 25 matchup. Then we all know the big mighty matchup. You got to play Bama at Bama. That sucks, and then you got to play Florida. You do get them at home, and we'll talk about Florida in just a second. They're trash. They're not a top 25 team. Then you got Georgia, not the Georgia you're thinking of, Georgia State. Then you got A&M. Comparing to some other SEC schedules, not bad at all. You'll take that. But here's where things get really, and I mean really weird for LSU. Let's say you run the table up until the Alabama game. You're 7-0. Or my bad, it's not 7-0, it's 8-0. 8-0. Let's just say Alabama's 8-0, they beat Tennessee, and LSU's also 8-0. And let's say for the sake of this video, LSU loses to Alabama. Then you're 8-1. And then you beat Florida, 9-1. Of course, you're going to beat Georgia State. And then you beat A&M. You're 11-1. Theoretically speaking, Alabama could still lose another game in conference and make the SEC championship because they own the tiebreaker. And let's just say with LSU going 11-1, they somehow missed the 14 playoff. Well, to me, and this is just me reading the room from all the LSU fans, that'd be a disappointment of a season. I don't care if you go 11-1 or 10-2. If you lose to Alabama, you don't make the SEC championship, and you don't make the playoff, that's a disappointment of a season. At least that is the feel and that is the vibe I'm getting from all these LSU fans. I could be wrong, but to me at least, that is their expectations. And also, like I said, you are probably expecting too much. I know we got a bunch of LSU fans watching. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this? And I'm going to empathize with y'all. It is a tricky and an odd situation, to say the least. Let's say I'm a time traveler and I were to tell you tomorrow, hey man, I saw the LSU season in 2023, and you went 11-1, lost to Bama, and you didn't make the playoff. I honestly believe if I told all of these LSU fans that, they'd be like, dang, man, we lost to Bama. We didn't even make the playoff. Man, that was a bad year. Or not a bad year, but you get what I'm saying. Disappointment of a season. However, when you really look at it on paper, that's not a bad season. If anything, that's a good/great season. It's tricky, man. I'll leave it at that. I could go back and forth for the next 20 minutes, but we got to get a move on and talk about the Florida Gators. Oh, man. Get your popcorn ready for this one, because it's going to be interesting, to say the least. I'll just say this. I don't think too many Florida fans are going to like what I have to say. Number one, let's start on with this. Florida fans, you are not a top 25 team. As to why ESPN and all these ranking systems are putting you in the top 25 preseason polls, I have no idea. I don't know where that's coming from. You're not a top 25 team, and in this up-and-coming season, you are going to be trash. You know why you're going to be trash? Because you don't have a quarterback, and let me calm down, because I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. Apparently and allegedly, their starter is going to be Graham Mertz. If y'all don't know anything about Graham Mertz, this dude is not a good quarterback, and their entire quarterback room, it's awful. It's arguably one of the worst in the SEC. It's pathetic, it's embarrassing, and I'm going to leave it at that. If Graham Mertz is your starting quarterback, you're in for some trouble. I'll show you his stats right here, and normally I read them off to you guys, but just take a look at them for yourself. They are laughable, to say the least. And they're going to be worse this year, I guarantee it. Let's make a long story short there. The quarterback room, it's awful. And I highlight that first because if you don't have a quarterback or quarterbacks in the SEC, you're going to struggle big time. Overall, for their entire offense, not that good. And overall, for their entire defense, not that good. And that's why I label them as trash. This Florida football team isn't good at any aspect of the game. They're mediocre at best, and that's all I can give them. Their bad days are really bad, and their good days aren't too much better. Last year, with a top 5 NFL draftee quarterback, they were awful. So what do you think is going to happen this year? They had Anthony Richardson and couldn't even win games. So do what you want with that information. Outside of that, though, what else has happened in the offseason? Well, we talked about a few weeks ago how they lost that 4-star quarterback who decided to go to Ole Miss. To me, I don't think that's a big deal. And then after that, I had a bunch of people tag me in this, how Florida landed like it was either 5 or 4-star recruits within the next 48 hours, which is cool. It's awesome. And I've seen all these Florida fans in the past couple of days and weeks say, oh yeah, look at our recruiting class, Matt. We're back. We're in the top 5 for 2024. And yes, you are in the top 5 for 2024, but it's so early on, none of this even matters that much. I'm not one to hype up recruiting classes because notice in this top 5, you don't see Alabama. You know why? Because they don't recruit hard early on. Trust me, when it's all said and done, Alabama will be at either number 2, 3, or 1 on this list. I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy here though. I will say it is nice that Florida did pick up a bunch of nice recruits over the past couple of weeks. That's a good sign. And also, here's my thing with that. I don't care about your recruits that are coming in 2024. What about 2023? We're not talking about the 2024 season. We're talking about 2023. You can hype up your 2024, 2025 recruiting class all you want. Don't care. We're not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about 2023 and what is going to happen. And you know what I think is going to happen? Florida is going to get smacked around this year just like they did last year. Nothing's going to change. Some people believe in Billy Napier. That's cool. You're entitled to your own opinion. I, however, do not. I even said it last year. I don't believe in this guy. He's a Brian Harsin 2.0. And what did Florida fans tell me? Matt, you got to give him a chance. He just got there. No, I don't got to give him a chance. An ace is an ace, a spade is a spade. Let me give you an example to put it into a better perspective because people don't understand this crap. If you go on a date with a girl and within the first week or two you realize y'all aren't a good match or she's crazy, why would you continue to try to make things work? I don't believe in Billy Napier. I can't dumb it down to any more than that. And maybe he proves me wrong. Maybe he goes out there next year and the year after and makes me eat my words. I hope he does. But if you've been keeping up with the channel for a very long time, the one aspect I'm never wrong on is quarterbacks and head coaches. We took a look at LSU's schedule, so why not? Let's take a look at Florida's. Heading into this, I haven't even looked at it yet. Is there even a chance they make a bowl game? Okay, I got to pull it up right here. Utah, you're not winning that one. Tennessee, not losing that one. That's 2 L's. Kentucky, Vanderbilt, well, let's just say more than likely you split that. That's 3 L's. Last year you lost to Vanderbilt and it wasn't even close. 3, you're probably going to lose to South Kakalaki. 4, you're not beating Georgia. 5, Arkansas, I'll give you that one. Then you got LSU, you're not beating LSU. That's 6 L's. Then you got Missouri and Florida State, so probably 7 L's. I'll give you the Missouri one. I'll say you lose to Florida State. That's 7 L's, and that's benefit of the doubt. And I'll give you more benefit of the doubt. Let's say you upset a team or two you're not supposed to win. So you're either going 5-7, 6-6, at best 7-5. And I don't know if some of you have seen Florida's schedule in 2024, but good gosh almighty. We're not going to get into all that, but I will be praying for you, Florida. It is rough, to say the least. I don't know if they'll win 3 games. The entire notion around this Florida University, and I've been paying attention, all these fans are talking about is the recruits coming in 2024. Look at the recruiting that Billy Napier's doing. Okay, that's awesome. That's all fine and dandy. But what about this year, 2023? Are y'all just not going to care about it? And oh yeah, by the way, who cares if you have a top 5 recruiting class? I want to see what you can do with the talent. I think Billy Napier can recruit, but can he coach? Who cares about having a top 5 recruiting class? A&M had the best recruiting class of all time up to date, and they didn't even make a bowl game. Florida's a crap show. They don't have a quarterback. They don't got a defense. I'll say your offense is mediocre, but you lost to Vandy last year, man. What happened? I just can't get over that. Losing to Vandy, that would have been the bottom of the line for me. I'd have fired Billy Napier right then and there. Vanderbilt doesn't even have home games. Their home games turn into away games. I could go on and on. I will leave it at that for now. Let me know your thoughts on everything we talk about down below. But